Hunter Biden and Melania Trump. So what exactly went down? What happened? What happened between Hunter Biden and Melania Trump? Well, apparently there was a documentary, and Melania Trump threatened Hunter Biden with a $1 billion lawsuit demanding we retract our last interview, and Hunter issued a formal apology. And this is from Channel 5 Live News. So let's go ahead and play this video. Let's go ahead and pull this up here. I have the full video segment, and let's go ahead and pull up at least this one video segment right here. So let's go pull this up here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day of presidential litigation has arrived. It's lawsuit time. In my hand is a legal demand letter addressed to Mr. Hunter Biden from the First Lady of the United States, demanding a retraction of Channel 5's video called Hunter Biden Returns, in which Mr. Biden here makes some speculative comments about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and Donald Trump.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
He didn't make these claims out of nowhere. They come from another journalist named Michael Wolff, who is a biographer that actually spoke to Jeffrey Epstein. But now here we are. And I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down, and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen.
Well, it is. Here's the thing. When you do look at the documentaries and other reports, I mean, there have been numerous incidents in which Epstein and Hunter Biden, correction. Hold on, let me take that back. When you have, Scam Likely's calling me. That's probably my FBI handlers. Scam Likely. Give it up for Scam Likely calling me right now. Scam Likely. It's probably my FBI, NSA, CIA, DOD handlers. So, sorry, I had to correct that, right? So, Epstein and Trump, they both knew each other. They were both friends with each other. They've had numerous times hanging out, and more importantly, having a lot of parties together. So I just want to pull this up here because there's a little bit more to this. So Hunter Biden has refused. I want to pull up this article right here. Hunter Biden has refused to apologize to First Lady Melania Trump. I want to close this video right here because the video is playing. After she threatened him with legal action over $1 billion in damages after he failed to retract comments he made linking her to, again, human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. F that. That's not going to happen. Biden laughed during a new interview with British journalist Andrew Callahan. We invite him to be on our show, by the way. The same person he was speaking to in July when he made allegations that apparently enraged the First Lady. And here's a quote, not by me. First of all, is that what I said was that I heard and seen reported and written primarily by Michael Wolff, but also dating all the way back to 2019 when the New York Times, I think Annie Carney and Maggie Haberman reported the sources that Jeffrey Epstein claimed to be the person to introduce Donald Trump to Melania at the time. But the primary source was the interviews that Michael Wolff has been conducting, in which he has actual tapes of. I think hours and hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein directly. So, fact of the matter is that, I don't think that these threats of a lawsuit add up to anything other than a design distraction, because it's not about who introduced whom to who. I don't know how that in any way rises to the level of defamation to begin with. Looks like a lull suit. Lawyers for Trump had objected to two statements made by Biden, the son of the former president Joe Biden, in a YouTube interview he gave to Callahan last month. In the sprawling discussion in question, Biden alleged that it was Epstein who first introduced Melania to Trump in the late 1990s when she was a fashion model and he was a luxury property magnate with no known political aspirations. The statements are false, defamatory, and extremely salacious. Melania Trump's lawyer wrote in the letter to Biden. So there's a little bit more to this. Let me just play the rest of this video here so all of you can see it firsthand.
The day of presidential litigation has arrived. It's lawsuit time. In my hand is a legal demand letter addressed to Mr. Hunter Biden from the First Lady of the United States, demanding a retraction of Channel 5's video called Hunter Biden Returns, in which Mr. Biden here makes some speculative comments about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and Donald Trump.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
He didn't make these claims out of nowhere. They come from another journalist named Michael Wolff, who is a biographer that actually spoke to Jeffrey Epstein. But now here we are. And I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down, and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen. Claimed to be the person to introduce Donald Trump to Melania at that time. And then it was, I think, excerpted in a book that was published in Vanity Fair. And I think it's been repeated by journalists and authors since then. But the primary source was the interviews that Michael Wolff has been conducting, in which he has actually tapes of, I think, hours and hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein directly. So, you know, fact of the matter is that, you know, I don't think that these threats of a lawsuit are add up to anything other than a design distraction, because it's not about who introduced whom to who. I don't know how that's in any way rises to the level of defamation to begin with. But the fact of the matter is that this is about hundreds, if not over 1,000 minors, children who were raped by Jeffrey Epstein. And I don't believe in guilt by association alone, but the connections have become, they're so glaringly obvious that I think they're trying to use other things to distract. And I also think they're bullies, and they think that $1 billion is going to scare me, which is, the fact of the matter is that if they'd like to go, I have this to say to them. If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the first lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
So there you go. All right. So what's the positive that we could take away from this? Well, first of all, look, I have my criticisms of Hunter Biden and the Bidens as a whole. No defense or anything. All I could say is right now, this is at least bringing Epstein back into the news cycle. That's the first positive thing. The name Epstein is being brought back in, which is great because they're trying everything they can to distract people. Federal forces going into Washington, D.C., distraction. You have a U.S. representative going on Joe Rogan's show talking about interdimensional beings. You got Tulsi Gabbard talking about Russiagate and Obama. You got the war in Ukraine, obviously. You've got all these other issues, you know, economic instability. You got other things that shine away and distract you from Epstein. So the positive is that Epstein's name, by proxy, will be brought up. Excuse me. I'm getting choked up here. Perhaps it's a CIA plan. Perhaps it's a CIA plan to silence me. But all this is being regurgitated. I mean, it's Hunter Biden isn't saying this. What he is saying is from other sources, from other journalists. So I don't think you can sue somebody for repeating something that you saw in a media outlet that was written from 2019. I mean, if he's regurgitating like, hey, you know, this was in this article and you're citing a source, if you're citing a source that's many years old, 2019, not that long ago, because that does matter. Also, 2019 is when Jeffrey Epstein, boy, I'm stuttering today, when Jeffrey Epstein passed away. And the thing is, it is a very interesting concept here. How's Trump paying for all these lawsuits? Lawrence Fine, you need to understand, of the many things I am impressed with Donald Trump about, it is how he's able to conduct these lawsuits. He's been doing them for decades and years. He knows how the system operates, works, and functions together. That's what he's able to pull off. I want to play a little bit more here. Let me just play a little bit more here.
If you countersue, they'd have to sit for deposition.
No, not if I countersue. If they sue me, they would have to sit for a deposition. Almost certainly, certainly the first lady would have to sit for a deposition, and most likely the president would have to sit for a deposition. And based upon Clinton versus Jones, the Supreme Court case, the president would not be exempt from having to sit down for a deposition.
And that would be a pretty big deal, right?
Well, I think the entire world would love to finally get to the bottom of the true nature of their relationship.
But a deposition with a sitting president, has it ever happened before?
Yeah, with Bill Clinton.
I've only ever seen 2 deposition videos before. There's the Jeffrey Epstein one where they ask him if he has an egg-shaped penis. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
And then he walks out. Then have you seen the Lil Wayne deposition where he threatens the person interviewing him?
This would be bigger than the Lil Wayne deposition, I bet.
That's the most viewed deposition of all time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no,
anyway,
I've seen the deposition with Jeffrey Epstein, in which, again, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact words that he used, but he was asked, were you ever in the presence of Donald Trump and underage women and minors? And he, after not having taken the fifth on several questions before and after that, he takes the fifth on that question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why do you think that might have been?
Look, I'm not an expert in any way on Jeffrey Epstein and the case and what's transpired. But I do know this. I know that Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of child sex trafficking, but sex trafficking of minors in particular. And Ghislaine Maxwell now, who's convicted of as being one of the and by the way, and participated in those rapes, not just procuring women and girls. We have to remember this: girls, children, for Jeffrey Epstein, but participating in that sexual abuse. And she is serving, I think, 20 to 25 years, and was serving in a maximum security prison. And all of a sudden, Ghislaine Maxwell, which is almost unique, according to experts, has been in the history of the prison system, federal prison system, as a sex trafficker, has been moved to the maximum security prison, to a minimum security prison, I think, in which at some point prisoners have the right to be able to petition to be able to leave prison on during the day and check back in, kind of the way that Jeffrey Epstein served when he served his year and a half or whatever it was. He didn't spend the day in jail. He left. He got the ability to leave during the day. And
so I want to pause here again, because I find this need to do this lawsuit that's being filed against Hunter Biden. I think it is ridiculous, because you have articles from 2019 and forward showing Trump and Epstein together. Okay? Like, that's out there already. There are so many video clips and pictures of Jeffrey Epstein with a lot of politicians, Democrat and Republican, members of royalty, people of high society. And guess what? Trump is in those pictures too. He knew him. He knew Epstein. He knew those people. Now, it's rather rich that they decided to go after Hunter for regurgitating something from written by other people. There's video depositions of Epstein. I mean, there's so much stuff out there. I mean, if you want to bring attention to it, fine. Now, I will say this to the Trump administration. For a moment, for a small moment, the Epstein story looked like it was dying. It looked like it was dying on the vine. I played a video from CNN in which they're saying like, oh, no one's Googling the Epstein story anymore. Now, of course, this is Hunter Biden and the Democrats. And Democrats, even if Kamala and Biden won, whether one of them had won, the Epstein story would not be gaining any traction. It wouldn't. All right. In fact, I think they'd be working double time to even hide it. But now Democrats and liberals, after seeing this, Hunter Biden saying F that Melania Trump, people are going to be jumping on it. But by proxy, Epstein's name will still be brought up. And this is a good thing because this adds more fuel to the fire for everyone realizing who this Epstein character is, the strange way he met his demise, and also how many people knew Epstein. Because as soon as more people wake up and realize just how nefarious and sick this is, more people are going to get angry. We played a video in which Brianna Joy Gray was interviewing Whitney Webb where she was talking about Palantir and how, well, guess what? They don't need another Epstein, or the CIA or any other intelligence agency doesn't need another Epstein because guess what? We're all being spied in on. But there are other Epsteins and Maxwells out there. And if we let the Epstein story die, then we're ignoring the victims. So I say thank you, Melania, for filing this lawsuit because now people are going to still look for Epstein. The story's alive. Now, the left does need better heroes, and I think there's a lot of people who've been talking about the Epstein files, all right? I want to give a shout-out to Pasta and Fee, who've been way early on. I mean, they were on the forefront. Same thing with Nico House, too. I remember 2019. Those are the original three who definitely led away with that story. There's Whitney Webb. Shout out to her. And there are so many other people who led the way in talking about and exposing Jeffrey Epstein. So the story's back alive again. His name is probably going to gain some more traction. So thankfully, by proxy, it will still be Googled. And that's all we can hope for at this point in time.